Hey everybody, Brian over at Strong Tower, and want to talk to you today about the visual system. So this is a super important concept for a healthy visual system, and we know more and more with neuroscience research that if you have a healthy visual system, your brain and body are going to run more efficiently. You might not run your technology efficiently as I get my PowerPoint set up here. There we go. There's present mode. Beautiful. All right. So what I want to talk to you about is a comparison of the eye muscles and this task called accommodation, which is refocusing near to far. So just as an analogy, let's compare eye muscles to the bicep. So if we consider taking these 5-pound dumbbells, right, and I can move my dumbbells up and down by contracting my biceps muscles here. And going up and down for a few minutes, a few repetitions, probably okay. But if I go ahead and bring my elbows up to 90 degrees, and then I walk around like this for 6 hours a day, 12 hours a day, I think the average screen time for the U.S. adult now is somewhere in the 10 to 12 hour per day mark. So we're staring at a screen with our eye muscles, our ciliary muscles, in a chronic state of tension. Just like if I walked around with my biceps in this midway contracted point at 90-degree, halfway contracted position, and I never stretched them out, I never relaxed them, there would be side effects and there would be after effects for at least the day after, maybe days after. And over time, if you did that 5 days a week, obviously the biceps and then the triceps wouldn't function as well. Your elbow would probably start to hurt, shoulders might start to hurt. So it's not a good idea for our skeletal system in our limbs. Then we kind of need to think about what we're doing with our visual system, where there's even more brain real estate or neuronal dedication to the visual system compared to those other areas in your body. So a lot more real estate for the eyes than there is for the biceps. So if you look at the image or the graphic here, you can see that when you have a distance focus, your ciliary muscles get to relax. And then when you have an up close focus, maybe you're staring at a screen, you have a contraction in those ciliary muscles, just like when we pick up a dumbbell, we're contracting the bicep. You wouldn't want to do that for 6 to 12 hours a day. And if you did have to, you might want to have some strategies to keep your brain and your visual system healthy to combat that eye strain or that chronic state of contraction. So what we want to do, accommodation is basically a refocusing of near to far. So a simple drill, you can hold a pen or you could look at the screen, preferably a pen so we get your eyes off of that blue light screen. Go from your pen to something maybe 10, 20 feet away in the distance, ideally a letter so you can give your brain a target. And we're just going to jump your eyes back and forth, refocusing near to far. So that would be a lot more like taking the dumbbell and contracting the bicep and working on maintaining the health of the bicep, but then also letting it relax and letting it lengthen back out and getting to that end range position. Really important for your elbows, your shoulders, all the other muscles in your body, so it's important for your visual system as well. The other thing I want to touch on today is this idea of visual suppression. And what is visual suppression? Well, if you remember the first flip phones that had a camera on them, and it was like you had like really low level megapixel, and now we have like the iPhone, I don't know, 10, 11, something up there, so many iPhones, but the cameras on them are amazing, right? There's so many pixels and so much more detail. So if we have a visual system where the right eye is processing information really well and it's giving great detail or acuity, and the left eye is not, what happens a lot of times is your brain will actually suppress or block one image because it's so much worse than the other image. So it's like your brain's comparing that old phone to the new phone picture, and it's saying, well, I really like this new one, we're just going to use that. And suppression happens at different distances for people, so this becomes, think about it from an energy standpoint, it becomes very metabolically expensive. So if people are fatigued, if they're dealing with sometimes even like depression or chronic fatigue, can come from a visual system that's not functioning well. There are ways through vision training that you can break suppression and you can help people get an equal activation in the right and the left eye by improving the image in the eye that maybe isn't functioning quite as well. And then you can also increase activation in a balanced way to both sides of the brain. So in suppression, you can see the image here. It's basically a confused brain. So this is a transcranial magnetic map of the occipital lobe and the visual cortex. And you can see that that left side has all the red is activation, and in the blue side, the blue is inhibition. So the brain's getting way more activation in one cortex versus the other cortex. And brains want to be balanced. So that's typically not a good thing when we have way more activation on one side than the other. And you actually can improve that and improve brain health and overall body health, energy levels, and even metabolic function by breaking suppression. There's some strategies through vision training that we work on at Strong Tower where you can do that. So just wanted to share that. If you're dealing with fatigue or you're dealing with visual stress or you're staring at a screen too much, there are some ways that you can combat that, and we would love to help. Just reach out and let us know how we can do that. Thanks.